Happy GA Flashback Friday, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. I know I say that every week, but thank God it is Friday. This week has been one of those weeks. Like, I've been off all week because my oldest daughter has been with her dad and his family for like the entire week. So it's just been Reagan and I, and that means it's been quiet, and that means Reagan's been bored, and that means she's drove me nuts. Because she is not, being the youngest, she's not one to be able to be very independent and play with her toys by herself. She's kind of always wanting somebody to be with her, and so when her sister's gone, who she's used to having all the time, for an entire week, I probably have a lot more gray hair than I did at the beginning of the week. But it's actually been really good. I get to spend some time with her, and we got to do some really fun things. She got her ears pierced yesterday, which at 5 is huge. She only cried for a couple of seconds. It wasn't any big catastrophe. And she got really cute minion earrings. Now, when I got my ears pierced like a bajillion years ago, they didn't have cool, like, character earrings like they do now. Like, she could have gotten My Little Pony. She could have gotten Anna or Elsa from Frozen. She could have, and she got Minions, which is not surprising if you know my child at all. She is absolutely, well, she's like her mom. She's kind of kooky and zany and weird and crazy, which I love. Because she has appeared to have inherited my dorkiness and my nerdiness. Both of my kids have, which I'm really grateful for. They both love themselves some Avengers. Got very, very angry with me when I did not take them to see Age of Ultron. Can explain to them that they need to see that movie at home so that I can fast forward through some of the parts that are not appropriate for an 8-year-old or a then 8-year-old and a 5-year-old. But I may take them to go see Ant-Man. I'm going to go watch it first next week. I bought tickets. I'm going to go watch it by myself. Or with a friend. But I'm going to go and watch it and then see if it's fine for them. And if it is, then I'll take them back and, you know, yada, yada, yada. But we're not here to talk about movies or my week from whatever. We are here for GA Flashback Friday, where we recap one of our past favorite episodes of Ghost Avengers. And this week we are at the Remington Arms Factory in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Now, as always, I like to give you guys a little bit of history about the location before I get into Lockdown Breakdown, and we have a lot to talk about, so we're going to get started. Okay, thanks, bye. As I said, the Remington Arms Ammunitions Factory was built in 1867 in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and it closed in 1986 and kind of became a refuge for the homeless. I mean, these big, huge, abandoned factories, lots of places to hide, lots of places to become anonymous in the corridors, in the dark corners and alleyways of these buildings. It kind of just became a refuge for the homeless. This place does not lack dark energy in the slightest. First of all, it's a munitions factory. It made guns and it made bullets that killed people. Some say because of that, it's cursed, which I can believe a little bit. I mean, when you have a building that is built for the purpose of killing things, I mean, a gun, you know, I think that you kind of open an unknown doorway a little bit. Not to mention there was a lot of bad things that just happened at the factory itself. There was labor riots and that were violent, that caused guards to, you know, like get their heads bashed in. There was accidents on the daily. I mean, when you're dealing with guns and bullets, it's bound to happen. You're going to have something backfire. You're going to have something explode. There was a major explosion in March of 1942 that killed 7 people and injured countless others. There have been guys that have fallen into like the smelting pots, like that melted everything. It's just crazy. And this place is just, you can just tell, like, you can feel the dark energy through, like, the TV screen. Now, before I get into Lockdown, which is cray on a whole new level, a really fun thing that happened during this episode is the guys got to actually meet John Zaffis. If you know anything about the paranormal, you know who John Zaffis is. He has been on countless TV shows. He's kind of like the godfather of the paranormal. He is unbelievable. He has been on I remember seeing him like on Unsolved Mysteries and stuff when I was little, and just being like completely intrigued by him. Like they would do ghost story stuff on there or paranormal stuff, and he would be on there talking and giving his like expert opinion on things. He's got a really cool museum of artifacts in his basement. And for anyone, especially me and like Zach, who don't like dolls, his house is not the place that I would like hang out all the time, because he's got dolls galore. Like they're everywhere and they're creepy. Like some of them are fine. Like he's got like, you know, like the Hellraiser doll and the Chucky doll and, you know, like Freddy Krueger or whatever. Like those don't bother me. Like slasher horror, whatever, doesn't really bother me. But the little freaking Victorian dolls that look like they're gonna suck your soul out of your eyeballs, hell to the no. I can't do it. I hate them with a deep, fiery passion. Like they are my number. Like nothing scares me to death more than a freaky ass looking doll. Like I can't do it. So I mean, needless to say, like Island of the Dolls, the episode was not fun for me. I get chills thinking about it. Like I want to panic. Like I can't deal with it. But I thought it was really cool that they got to meet him and they got to go to his house and talk to him. And they actually talked to him about the importance of trigger objects, which he really, really enjoys. Because they had like some bullets and like a flare or fuse or something from the factory that they were going to talk to him about seeing if they used them in the factory during lockdown, if it could trigger paranormal activity, which I've talked about trigger objects before and the importance that I feel they can play in a paranormal investigation. If you bring in something that is prevalent to the time and pertains to some of the spirits that are there, then you're obviously going to attract them a little more than if you had just like a digital recorder and a camera in their face that they may or may not know anything about. With all that being said, going into lockdown for this particular episode, OMF to the G. It's one of those locations that you can't break down. So much happened. In like 20 minutes that I don't even know where to start. This place is like an EVP breeding ground. It is like absolutely insane. They got so many EVPs and disembodied voices and bangs, and I mean, but some that really stuck out to me was they, on a static night vision camera, about 16 minutes after they left it there, they heard something like moving, like almost like somebody, it sounded to me like someone like moving something back, and then like a forklift or something, like making that beep, 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 like that sound that it makes. You could hear it like move the equipment and then it would go beep, and then you could hear it move it and beep. It was really, really crazy, because you knew that, I mean, it would take like either a very heavy piece of equipment to move whatever they were moving, or a lot of people. Then they got a gunshot and a yell that they believe is maybe a residual sound from the factory, which obviously would not be uncommon considering the place it is. But what made this piece of this evidence interesting is they had cameras set up on multiple floors of this shot tower, and they only captured the gunshot on the 4th floor with the scream. But they had a car horn go by earlier in the night that was captured on all 3 levels of the shot tower, and the cameras captured it. All 3 cameras captured that car horn, so that meant that all 3 cameras should have been able to capture the gunshot and the scream, but only the 4th floor caught it. So we're wondering if it's maybe just a residual energy from the 4th floor that something happened up there. Either way, it was really freaking cool. They caught a growl, which we know is never a good thing. And then they all seemed to be really affected by something toward the end of lockdown. They kind of got the hair standing up on it, and they all kind of felt nauseous and kind of disoriented. And that's when they started hearing a lot more voices. They started hearing conversations. People were just like talking from everywhere. And it's kind of been the focal point of this episode was the EVP. They caught so many screams and yells and disembodied voices and crying and responses that it was just insane to me. there is no doubt in my mind that this place is haunted. It is absolutely crazy. And when you look at it and think about it, it's like the perfect spot for a haunting. You have death, you have accidents, you have possible murders, you have a graveyard that sits really close to the factory, you have violence. It's just the perfect breeding ground for a perfect haunt, and that is what I really, really love about it. So overall, I really enjoyed this episode for multiple reasons, mostly because of the EVP evidence that they got out of there, and just the overall history of the place is really, really neat, and I think that it is just one of those prime locations that happens to be the perfect little cocktail of disaster to make it a really good haunt. So bravo, Remington Arms, bravo. But that is all I have for GA Flashback Friday. I will be back on actually Monday for GAQA Monday. I know. Explain. I shall. Tuesday, I am actually taking my kids to the water park for the day, and so I won't be here. So I'm actually going to be shooting GAQA Tuesday on Monday, just so that I can go ahead and deliver it to you guys and keep up with the week as planned. Nothing gets left out, and I can still bring you a video for our Ghost Adventures related questions next week. So I will actually see you guys on Monday for GAQA Monday. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, have a wonderful weekend. Much love and happiness.